So the total for the week added up to 71.2 hours. Slightly more than my goal, and I'm very proud of myself.
It's lit.
"70 hours of language immersion in 1 week challenge."
Hey, that's pretty good.
School ended. I just finished my final exams and now I have the time to spend a whole week for constant immersion. That's an average of 10 hours a day for 7 days straight. That week is already over, and I'm recording this after the fact. This video was inspired by a similar video by Cloudy Howdy. I was spending some time making videos in the past weeks, so that might have taken some time away from my immersion. But I was passively listening while editing. I don't usually immerse 7 hours a week. That's just insane.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
But my hope was at least to challenge myself and to inspire you guys. The language I'm currently learning is German, and I think it's a wonderful language. I get a lot of pleasure immersing in it. I tracked everything, and by everything, I mean everything. How? I simply used an Excel sheet with the date as rows and the types of immersion as columns. I tracked every minute of all immersion types, be it reading, free flow, active immersion, passive immersion, etc. Also, only a small percentage of people that watch my videos are actually subscribed. So if you end up liking this video, consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind. Let's try to make this bar go up a bit. Let me give you a quick story on how I encountered immersion language learning, even though I didn't know what that was in my early life. I remember being a young lad in a French elementary school. We had our first English class then. And God, I hated it. It was mainly because of the teacher.
No pomegranates! No pomegranates!
Always dressed in black. As if she knew that one of us in the class is going to die of boredom. But also learning English in school was very hard, and that's why I hated it too. Because of English's growing popularity at the time, I thought the cool kids knew it too. I wanted to learn it, but I thought it was an impossibility. Then my parents decided to move to an English-speaking country for their new jobs. Of course, during the first year of my new school, I was the quiet kid. And for good reason. I didn't know how to speak English. My comprehensibility in it isn't to be seen on a scale. Plus, I was terrified as a new student. Throughout the year, I was alone, back in the class, eating in the cafeteria alone, and people were talking to each other, while sometimes glancing at me strangely. Of course, I didn't understand it, but it seemed like they were talking about me. As time passed, I spent day after day in school in the same state, until one day I started to pick out words and eventually understand them. I will remember that day forever. I was in a state of euphoria, thinking that English was a task only for the mighty to conquer. But I somehow magically acquired a few English words on my own. By the end of that school year, I had enough English in me after listening to my teachers and peers. That's hours and hours of listening. I had enough English in me that I could finally wish them a great summer. All of them looked at me with great surprise, with smiles drawn on their faces.
Nice.
Notwithstanding the incomprehensible English classes at my school, I learned English without learning English. And I'm still not perfect. That's my first experience with language acquisition and language immersion. So back at my 70 hours of immersion week, this is how I started out. Day 1 of 7, Monday, I spent 11.1 hours, which is 16% of my total goal of 70 hours, doing immersion on that date. So I started with Anki, which was approximately 10 minutes. And that's, if you're interested, that's 1.5% of my total immersing time during that day. So I woke up early to do my Anki. I always start with Anki. It's a tradition that has been long with me. I usually do it around 8 to 9 a.m. straight when I wake up. And this day I spent 10 minutes. This is lower than usual when I do Anki reps. And these reps include review as well as learning new words with new cards. So passive listening, 7 hours, 63% of my time. And I know, like, wow, 7 hours of passive listening? Well, this was mainly done when I was walking around my neighborhood to get a bit outside and feel the early summer wind. I was listening to an audiobook which is called Harry Potter und der Feuerkelch, which is the Goblet of Fire book from the Harry Potter series. It's very comprehensible for early German reading, but of course it's more difficult when you're just using it for pure listening. So that's why it's a good level for me to use for passive listening. Link in the description for any shows, books, etc. that I mention. The other times I was passively listening is when I was doing menial tasks and chores around the house, which there was a lot, and this answers how I had so much time to do passive listening for 7 hours. So next up I was doing reading, so 3.2 hours, 29%. I love to read, especially in German, because it progresses my language learning development. I had a 3-hour session of reading in the afternoon. I was reading Der Morgen eine neue Zeit, The Morning and Evening by Ken Follett. It's a very good book, and I'm spreading my German to other domains, mainly the medieval historical fiction one. I read actively by looking up unknown words and later adding them to Anki. Free flow immersion. So this took 18 minutes, 3%. I was watching random YouTube videos that were recommended to me on the homepage, so there's no need to mention any. It's just useful to have videos on the go where you can have some free flow immersion. So YouTube is very useful for recommending target language videos that interest you. Active immersion. So this took 33 minutes. It counts as active, which means I stopped the video in some way to train my German more intensively than free flow. Reminder that free flow is you let it just play, you don't look at it too intensively. So part of that, my listening exercise, which is also called recall, took 18 minutes. This is where I used language learning with Netflix, or YouTube in this case, to first listen to a sentence and then pause the video to determine whether I heard the sentence correctly. I tested myself by looking at the subtitle in my target language after I got an idea of what I heard. This is useful to improve your listening comprehension, which is the hardest skill to master. Reading, 13.3 minutes. And yes, I tracked everything to the dot. Here I was first reading the subtitle trying to pronounce it correctly, then I was hearing the line back and compared. I don't usually use this kind of active immersion, but I wanted to try it for this challenge. And also there's another active immersion type which is called both at the same time, where you read and play the subtitle, and that's all. And basically you pause whenever you don't understand something. And on day 1 I haven't used this, mainly because I didn't have time, but also I used other immersion types. Day 2 of 7, 10.9 hours of immersing, 15% of my total 70 hours goal. So passive listening was 6.8 hours, 62% of the day. Passive listening was done on the Harry Potter book. I also mixed it up by listening to a podcast. It's called Eine Stunde History by Deutschlandfunk Nova. And reading was 6.2 hours, 24% of the day. I have designated time in the afternoon where I sit and read. I recommend having a divided space and a planned time to go to read. It's great. Free flow immersion, 1.4 hours, 13% of my time on the second day. I was doing a bit more free flow today. I was watching mini documentaries from the followme.reports YouTube channel. It's an English channel name, but the videos are in German. Active immersion, 7 minutes, like only 1%. I didn't do that much today as I wanted to, but I compensated this by doing a lot more free flow as well as reading. And my Anki, it took 6 minutes, so 0.7%. Day 3, 10.6 hours, so 14% towards my 70 hours goal. Passive listening, 7 hours, 66%. Reading, 51 minutes, 8%, so it's not that much compared to the previous days. Free flow, 38 minutes, 6%. And I remember this day because I was watching MrWissen2Go, which is a great channel if you're looking for history and the like. I really like his series on the Second World War. Active immersion, 1.8 hours, 17%. I was watching episodes of Dogs of Berlin, recommended. And this was mainly done by the listening exercises, which is called recall, as well as reading. I wasn't using both at the same time. And finally, my Anki was around 20 minutes, so 3% of my total time. Day 4, 9.9 hours. Passive listening, 8.4 hours, so 85%. The majority of the day I was doing this. So this is lots and lots of passive listening. There are always opportunities to listen in your target language. This builds over time and gets to be beneficial. But always remember that active immersion is the main point of focus, especially when you have the ambition to master your target language. Reading was 36 minutes, 6%. Free flow was 18 minutes. Active immersion was 12 minutes. And Anki was 24 minutes. So I was doing a bit more Anki. It usually fluctuates. So here are the stats for the 5th day. I was watching a lot of shows on Netflix through active immersion, 6.9 hours. And I was doing a lot less passive listening. I was watching a lot of shows on Netflix as well as on YouTube. Binge watching at its peak. Make sure you take breaks in between. So Anki was 36 minutes, so 5% of my total time. Here are the stats for day 6. It's pretty regular. I was just doing pretty much the same thing routinely. Of course, I was doing less passive listening, but more active immersion and free flow. And here is the stats for the 7th day. So 9.4 hours, 13% of my total goal of 70 hours. You can see that the majority of the time was reading as well as passive listening. So that day I was strong on reading. I just started the book, so I'm 15% done with it, but I'm enjoying it very much. So the total for the week added up to 71.2 hours. Slightly more than my goal, and I'm very proud of myself.
It's lit.
But also very tired. I recommend getting a lot of sleep and always balance your language learning with your other life. So by total, my passive listening was 31.5 hours, my reading was 11.9 hours, free flow was 5.4 hours, active immersion by watching shows and YouTube was 13.2 hours, and you can see the various techniques I used, and my Anki was 9.2 hours. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos similar to this one, and I'll see you on the next one.